Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on CBS News 24/7. I'm Lindsay Reiser. The president is saying tonight will be a big night in what has already been a fast-moving, consequential term. He will address a joint session of Congress on Capitol Hill, where we expect him to tout what he sees as the accomplishments of the first 6 weeks of his second term. It will be the first time he speaks to both sides of the aisle together in person since his inauguration, and predictably, Republicans and Democrats have very different expectations.
It's 5 years after his last State of the Union address. This is a joint address to Congress, not a State of the Union, because a State of the Union is typically delivered on or around the sort of the one-year anniversary, first year in office. But this president is working so quickly, I invited him to come early in the process to give this joint address because there's so much to report to the people, and we're delighted he's going to be there.
Tonight, we expect the president to put on a master class in dishonesty. We expect the president will focus not on everyday Americans, but on his friends and his ego.
Tonight's remarks come on the same day as hefty new tariffs on imported goods from Canada, Mexico, and China went into effect. China and Canada have already responded with their own retaliatory tariffs, while Mexico's president says she will speak with President Trump as soon as Thursday. There are also growing concerns for the trajectory of the war in Ukraine. Yesterday, President Trump put all U.S. aid to the country on hold after Friday's Oval Office blow-up. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says now it's time to make things right. Let's bring in CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang for more on all of this. Weijia, President Trump is expected to speak on several hot-button issues, including the economy tonight, a topic that Americans polled by CBS News overwhelmingly say they think he should prioritize. We're going to put up some data on your screen. So the percent who thinks he is giving a lot of priority to the economy and inflation is far lower. Most think he's prioritizing the border, the federal workforce, and tariffs, and his policies aren't necessarily seen as driving down food and grocery prices. So what's at stake for him?
Well, the president will certainly try to message that he has taken a lot of actions to fulfill his campaign promise to lower prices on day one. But you're right, Lindsay, the reality does not meet the messaging, and that is a problem for President Trump that he has to address tonight. We know that White House officials say he will be hitting hard on the economy and inflation. Of course, he is able to offer some deliverables in terms of these massive tariffs that you've been reporting on, but economists don't agree with his view that that's going to help the economy and worry that it could be inflationary. You see these numbers here on your screen again, Lindsay, and basically, people are asking for more. They want more when it comes to details about what the president is specifically doing to make it easier to make ends meet. And so we'll have to listen to see if he offers any specifics. But so far, he talks in big picture items, right? He talks a lot about DOGE and about all the efficiency that will ultimately, have an impact on the economy, a positive one. He talks about these tariffs. And I don't know that that's enough. Based on our polling and other polls, it's not. So I think that's what people will be listening for tonight, Lindsay.
And we're learning about who the president has invited to attend tonight's session. What do we know?
Well, with every presidential address in this form, whether it's an official State of the Union or a joint address to Congress, the guest list really helps tell the story of what presidents want to relay. And so he is going to have a female athlete who says that she suffered a concussion after a transgender athlete hit a volleyball at her. You can see here Mark Fogel, who was just freed from Russia a couple weeks ago. He will be there as well. The family of a slain NYPD police officer, the family of Laken Riley. Of course, the Laken Riley Act was the first piece of legislation that the president signed into law after that nursing student was killed by an undocumented immigrant, and the family of Corey Comparatori, who was killed by a gunman when he tried to assassinate President Trump at a Pennsylvania rally. So his family members will be there as well.
We are also hearing that the Office of Personnel Management issued a revision to its recommendation to fire probationary employees. These are people who are usually here in the first maybe year or two, so they're still under that probationary period. Does that mean they get to stay?
No. I mean, if you've been fired, you've been fired. What it means is that if you're currently a probationary worker, there's not a sweeping mandate anymore to have mass firings, but it is still up to the individual agencies to use their discretion. So they could still fire these probationary workers. It's just a different directive from the Office of Personnel Management, which does make a difference, Lindsay, because of the previous mandate, tens of thousands of federal workers did lose their jobs. And so it doesn't help them that it has now been revised. But to your point, for the ones still there, it makes it easier to retain their jobs, but they still have fewer protections than a full-fledged civil servant. And so it depends on the agencies. And we know the bottom line from the president and from top advisor Elon Musk is to trim. So, we don't know what the exact figures are, but they have made clear that they will continue to make cuts. Lindsay.
Weijia Jiang, thank you.